a report today that another intelligence arm of the US government, this is inside our energy department, has joined the FBI in concluding that COVID began with a lab leak in China.
One thing that's become increasingly clear to me, especially over the last year, is that I don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
Right? I certainly don't trust reporters. Because reporters treated this initially as if it was nothing more than a crazy, unhinged conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
So who do you trust, right? You can't trust the legacy media outlets because that was their narrative. Right-wing media, tends to go in the direction of it was definitely a lab leak, but they have their own biases. So what do you trust?
Yeah. Look, guys, who can you trust? How about us?
Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was recently being interviewed by Martha Raddatz, and he continued to push a conspiracy theory that has already been debunked by our intelligence community. This whole notion that the coronavirus was developed in a Chinese lab, that has been debunked, and he was asked about it.
Yeah. So let me give you the different parts of this conspiracy.
Okay, so in this case, you have the Wuhan virology lab that works on coronaviruses, and a coronavirus outbreak happens right next to it. It's not, it is very likely that it came from the lab, in my opinion. But I'm telling you it's my opinion, and that's called honesty. I'm positive I never called the lab leak a conspiracy theory because I always thought it was logical, okay? So, and please go and find whatever we said about it. We'll own up to anything, and my guess is you're gonna find me saying that at some point in one of the coverages.
But when the scientists say they looked at the genetic code and the chemistry of it, and it is not man-made, that's the best evidence we have to go on. So that part of it appears to clearly be a conspiracy theory. And it's disturbing, but not unusual that the Trump administration would push it. Republican leadership, the RNC, put out a memo saying, whenever you're asked about coronavirus, blame the Chinese Communist Party in that language, right? So he's having his cake and eating it too, spreading conspiracy theories so people can start hating the Chinese. People saying it's man-made, that's been pretty much completely debunked. The scientists say, no, when you look at its genetic makeup and when you look at the science behind it, it has not been altered. So it is not man-made, it is natural. So since that has been proven also by his own by our own agencies,